agents of the resistance. We must rise. We must resist.
Alright, YouTube. Here I am on another Ducati. Again, I'll do a quick recap. I am a commuter rider. Not necessarily a sport bike rider. Now I'm on a Hypermotard Strada, which is the street version, so the suspension's a little bit lower. A little bit stiffer than the plain Hypermotard. And this one has the windscreen, which is nice, so it's a little bit more touring friendly. Clutches grab me, but these things were beat to hell for the last 3,063 miles. Although I am right next to the control rider, so I have to behave a little bit. So, as with the last bike, let's talk about comfort. This is definitely a smaller bike, so it's much lighter, very flickable, but it's very stable. It doesn't feel like it's gonna dump you if you do something stupid. Suspension is definitely a little bit more plush than the Diavol. This was a nightmare on the Diavol. It's not too bad on this guy. It'd be better if I was standing and more prepared. Got to work it a little bit more than the Diavol. Nice. Seat's pretty plush, not as comfortable as the Diavol because the tank is a little bit wider. But comfort, solid. Controls. The seating position is really nice. I like the seating position. It's probably my perfect position. If I didn't have to get longer cables for the VFR, this would be the position I'd go for. Turn signal. Okay. Very upright. The windscreen is doing a pretty good job. It's hitting me right in the face. Right like in the middle of the visor. But it's not bad. This thing feels like it would turn on a dime. The controls are solid. It's very similar to that of the Diavol in layout. The hand controls are all the same. The throttle is a little bit more twitchy, and I think that's just because I'm riding this one a little bit harder because it's only an 850 and I'm trying to keep up with the 1200. Foot controls are placed just as well as that of the Diavol. Exhaust note, this is stock exhaust, so it's alright. So yeah, controls solid. Nothing really to write home about, nothing to complain about. Technology, again, as with the Diavol and pretty much all of the Ducati 2015 lineup, we have full traction control, full ABS, which is going to keep you planted and safe. Not really much to write about there. The gauge isn't as pretty. I do like the tack and the speedometer on this one a little bit more than the Diavol because the speedometer is there, it's bigger, it's the first thing you see when you look down. That and the great big tack bar. Although I am pretty partial to analog tack and digital speed, but beggars can't be choosers. Engine, torquey, very quick revving. Oh, I didn't notice there was a shift light. very balanced. Almost a complete stop before I felt the need to almost put my foot down, but I didn't. So that red light is you hit red line. That's not a hey you should probably shift. That's a you're out of RPM. Okay, good to know. Engine's there. It's quick. I don't think it's any faster than my VFR, but it's torquey. That V-twin's going to give you a nice solid torque. And it revs to 11 grand before redline. Not too shabby. Handling. The brakes on this are fantastic. 2-piston Brembos up front, 2-piston, one I think a Brembo in the rear. I don't know how many pistons. Solid. I mean, just grab a fistful of brake and you're gonna stop. Rear brake's pretty solid, so I can't really complain on that. The balance of this though is fantastic. So when you are slowing down, I almost came to a complete stop and I didn't feel like I was on a tip over. Handling's very smooth. This is definitely a precision bike. I feel like it'll turn on a dime and it'll go wherever I want it to. Without the Strada version, there's the regular Hypermotard. I mean, I'd jump this curb right here. Just up, go on the curb, go off-road. I'd feel comfortable doing that. It's definitely a hooligan bike. And while I would totally want to do a wheelie on this, it's not my bike, and I'm not super comfortable with wheelies, so we're not going to. Sorry, guys. Although Ducati, it's on their insurance, not mine. Then we have a turn coming up here. So yeah, handling's very precise, very pointed. Wherever you tell it to go, it will go. So, you know, another thing to talk about, and it'll be in my final review of the Diavel, appearance. I love the look of the appearance of the Diavel. This guy's cool. I don't think it's as nice looking. The duckbill thing just can't quite do it. This bike is very confidence inspiring, I'll say. I feel stable, I feel secure, even when I'm trying to hoon around. Now this one is really twitchy. This thing's been flogged. I can just feel it. The engine's not quite where it's supposed to be. Suspension and all that's fine. Just the motor's twitchy. I can hold the same throttle and it pulls and then doesn't pull at the same time. It'll hesitant. I'll say what, Ducati's got their mirrors things figured out. These mirrors are actually pretty usable. Right now I'm just kind of finding things to talk about. This video is not going to be nearly as long as the Diavel video.